evening, everybody. This is Big Al, Alan Feaster with KO Boxing Breaking News. How's everybody doing tonight? I was waiting for one more person or some people to show up. One more person. We're waiting for Mr. Steve Penn Music. He was going to join the interview, and I did send him a link. But, Steve, if you're watching and you messed up on the link, we put a StreamYard link in the chat. Let me pull that up real quick. Tonight, we'll have a special guest, Joey Borrero, up-and-coming prospect to me still, an outstanding professional boxer. And also, we'll get into his story. He's been on our show before, and we'll get him on here in a second. But first, I want to thank everybody for showing up tonight for this interview. We hope some of Joey's family, friends, or other fans that has watched Joey participate in Boxing the Fast come on tonight and ask some comments. You can click the StreamYard link when we get done asking some basic questions, and I'll say go ahead and hit the StreamYard link. You can come on live and ask Joey any questions or share any nice thoughts you have about Joey. Tonight, Joey he's in the backstage waiting. But any comment that he don't feel, any question he don't feel, our general rule of our show for doing interviews, if you don't feel comfortable answering a question, you don't have to answer that particular question. My name again is Alan Feaster. Welcome to KO Boxing Breaking News, guys. Appreciate you guys' support here tonight. Thank you so much for showing up. Thanks, guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
All right, guys. Want to get into it? We have a special guest now. I guess we'll get into it right away. We've been waiting for a few days for Joey to show up. We've been posted this, I think, the end of last week or this weekend to give time for you guys to come on and ask any questions. I think somebody already left a comment earlier. I don't know who this guy was. He left it even before the show started. Let's pull his comment up there. Since he left it there earlier, Joey might know that guy there, but we'll shortly put XX. But we'll have him come on here in a second. I haven't been on doing a live interview in a while, guys, since last year. This is our first interview this year, trying to get back into doing interviews. So, guys, again, hit the bell notification button.
Ring-a-ding-ding.
To be notified when we go live with any other interviews or if we come out with a news story. Let's get Joey on here real quick. A special guest on tonight.
Joining us today live on set, a special guest.
All right. Mr. Joey Barrero has arrived. Here he is, guys. Hey, Joey, what's up, brother?
Hey, how you doing, Alan? Glad to be part of the show again, man.
Haven't seen you in a while. But,
I know, man. I know. We were kind of back and forth trying to get everything scheduled. Finally, today was the day, man. It was meant to be today.
It's meant to be today. Hey, guys, we're glad Joey came on here tonight. Let me do this real quick. Let me add this in here, something different for a moment. We'll at least leave it like this. People can see you real up close and personal this way. But we appreciate you coming on again tonight, Joey. We really do appreciate that. Let me pull this up. Let me change something here real quick in the back as well. Back to our, okay, here we go. Got some smoke in the background. Joey's bringing the smoke. All right. But so if Steve comes on, we're on there as well. Let me pull you in closer, though. I was just trying to change things around. Also, too, we got to make sure this is working correctly. Make sure we got Joey up there. No, that's me. That's me. Joey, we're sorry about that. We knocked you out.
Oh, you're good. You're good.
Okay, right here, I guess. Try this one more time. Oh, it's still me. Okay, this is probably Joey right here. We got to find where Joey's at. We haven't done this a while, guys, so give me 1 second. All right, that's good. Let's leave it like this for now.
There we go.
So, Joey, what have you been up to?
I mean, pretty much just focusing, first of all, being grateful to God. I just had my fight back July 19th in Puerto Rico. My uncle walked me out. Ivan Calderon, another Puerto Rican legend, walked me out. I'm just grateful to God because after a year and a half of inactivity, I got to be part of a big show, had a big crowd, had the support from my uncle, and another legend that was my second coach over there, and we did some amazing things. We were able to get back into the ring, and now we're getting back into the rhythm, of boxing and getting everything together. So, yeah.
Okay. Now, a lot of people don't know, Joey. Some people might not know, but let everybody know who you're the nephew of.
So I'm the nephew of Felix Trinidad. So
So
those that didn't know, Felix Trinidad was the first person to beat Oscar De La Hoya. First person to take on undefeated from Fernando Vargas, William Joppy, Barry a lot, David Reed, a lot of different fighters that were Olympic fighters or were world champions at the time. My
Mhm.
uncle was one of them to beat them, and he was a big name in boxing back in the early 2000s and the late 1990s. So
Yep, I remember him so well. A lot of people do. He's a great boxer, awesome boxer, one of the best. Okay, but Joey, also too, now just to get into it, the last time I talked to you, I can't remember. You had an undefeated record then at that time, but you did have a loss on your record. Was that by a decision, knockout? I can't remember. I didn't go back and look.
so I got dropped by the dude. I'm not gonna say he didn't. I was careless. I did get dropped. But however, I actually had I got up. I was able to continue, and at the time, the person I was working with decided to throw in the towel. Some say it was for good, others say it was a plan. All I know is that I still wanted to continue fighting. And when the
Mhm.
time came, they didn't allow me because they threw in the towel. So it counts like a knockout, but it wasn't really because we all know, like I know the people that were there at the fight and saw it, they knew that the guy had thrown everything he had in the tank by the second round. So when I was gonna come out, I was gonna come out and destroy him. But at the end of the day, it's a dirty business. I went back in the ring and I was able to prove that
Right.
I won the unanimous decision against a experienced opponent. Actually experienced vet, had over 40 fights, 22 wins, and I think it was like 13 losses and 2 draws. The guy had a good record. At one point, he was actually Intercontinental WBC champ at 130 or 126.
Mhm.
So, I proved myself, and we're getting ready to do it again. As soon as I get this fight date signed on paper, I'll be posting it. But we'll be fighting again real soon.
Okay. Real quick, let's step back a little bit. We had you on before and we talked about how you got started in boxing. Wasn't your grandpa or something like that that introduced you to
Yes.
boxing? If I remember, see, I had my head injuries
Yeah.
from all my
No,
brain
no,
damage.
that's good memory. It was my grandpa that got me started when I was little. He saw I was getting in a lot of trouble in school. I would like to get into fights, and he would always play with the pads, buy me like little punching bags when I was little. So when I was getting a lot of fights into school, a lot of trouble, he finally was like, I told my grandma, you know what, let's put him in the ring. He likes to fight, so let's see if he can do it in a different setting, in an organized setting. And that's when you realize you really don't know how to fight. I don't care how good you are in street fighting. You really don't know how to fight until
Okay.
you get into that boxing ring and you got rules and regulations. Cause them rules, man, and those regulations, they may definitely make a difference.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you coming back on here again a second time, Joey. Also, I think somebody already left a comment. We have a new comment here, real quick tonight. Real quick. We want to leave nobody out. Bruce Gas, Boxing, Jazz, and more. He always comes on, stops by to visit our channel. Salute KO Boxing. He has his own boxing show. He's a boxing historian. They talk about boxing and jazz music over on his channel, Joey. If you haven't subscribed to his channel, everybody go over there and subscribe. They also have, I think, what was the heavyweight champion? Was his name Tim Witherspoon, Bruce? I think he was on your show as part of your show, helping you talk about some of the watch parties that Bruce does as well. So, Bruce, we thank you for stopping by. You're welcome to come on if you have any questions to ask Joey. You can hit the StreamYard link in the top of the comment section and come on live throughout this interview. Anybody else have any comments, we'll post them on screen. But let me catch myself up to speed. So since I last talked, you only have one loss. That's pretty good still. No matter what how boxing is, there's a lot of favoritism, politics sometimes, and some shady stuff goes on sometimes. But we already know that. But
Yep.
but since you came back, have you won any belts since the last time we talked? Or had your last interview?
So I haven't won any belts. I won this fight, like I said, after my first loss. I was a year and a half inactive. Then I finally got back, was able to get back on a big show. Um, Prior to that, we had some fights scheduled. We got to weigh in, made the weight. Opponent didn't want to. I don't know. They say he had pink eye, but at the end of the day, that's could be an excuse, for the opponent not wanting to fight. The fight didn't wasn't even given, so then I was like, oh, okay. I decided to keep on training, stay in the gym. Finally got a big fight, got a big breakthrough, and like I said, all glory to God, because after a year and a half layoff, I was already like in my head, like, man, is this really for me? Is this really? Can I continue in this? You start getting a lot of bad thoughts, and if you entertain them and you give up, you decide not to keep going, you're not
Right.
gonna get to where God's meant you to go. And I
Right.
decided, to have faith. And at the end of it, I had a great show, fought in front of my hometown crowd. Fought, like I said, Felix Trinidad and Ivan Calderon, two Hall of Famers, were in my corner during that boxing event. So, Felix is my uncle. Of course, he was going to be there, but it was big just being able to perform in front of my family, in front of my hometown. It was a great thing.
Because Bruce has a question? Does Joey know Campo Rosario
Chapo Rosario.
Rip, and who are his favorite Puerto Rican boxers?
So I do know a little bit about Chapo Rosario. My all-time favorite Puerto Rican boxer, definitely, is my uncle Felix Trinidad. I love Miguel Cotto too. I love the strategy Miguel Cotto had, and what I liked about Ivan Calderon wasn't a heavy hitter, but he was a great boxer. And being able to be influenced in my career by two of the greatest Puerto Rican champions ever to live, it's great. I also Wilfredo Benitez, Wilfredo Gomez, those were great champions in Puerto Rico. So I know a little bit about the history. Well, not a little bit. I know quite a bit about the history of Puerto Rican champions that we have had. Chugar de Leon Sr., who was a champion in cruiserweight too. He was a great fighter. So we have we're a small island, but we have had a lot of champions and a lot of great talent being born from there. So I'm extremely blessed to be able to represent my island. Some people might be wondering why I'm wearing the Cuban flag, but I respect the Cuban boxing industry, the Cuban boxers. I respect them, got a lot of love for them. Cuban trainers were actually some of the trainers that developed me through my career, like Joel Casamayor, Ismael Salas. So I'm always grateful, and I've had a lot of great fighters that have been Cuban champions. Some of my great friends, Francis Bartholomew, your Dennis Ugas, Gamboa. So I've been around and influenced by it a lot. So that's why I love, helping represent their flag whenever I can.
Okay, that's great. Joey, I'm gonna post it here in the comments real quick. The
Yep.
okay, we already had that comment. Give me one
Yep.
second, Joey. I'm gonna type the StreamYard link. If Steve, if you're still there, Steve Penn Music was supposed to be on with us tonight. Famous rapper from Atlanta, Georgia. He wrote a song for Terrence Crawford's fight. It's called
Nice.
Fish Fry, and rap song is pretty cool. I think I might have sent it to you to hear it in the past. But I was waiting for him to show up tonight. But we can continue on without Steve, even though he's a single father. He might be attending to the young people in his house.
Yep.
Majority, let's go back here a little bit. Some people don't know. Are you still living in Las Vegas or no?
No, so I moved from Las Vegas to the state of Colorado. Now I'm in between living here in Colorado and going back and forth from Colorado to Puerto Rico. So I'm kind of like living in both areas. But that's what it is. I used to live I lived a long 10 years in Las Vegas, and I loved it. But it was time for a change. I want a higher altitude, more opportunities. So I went and came over here to Colorado, and thank God all those doors open.
Right, that's beautiful. But real quick, also just step back one bit. Let some people know back when you were younger, you got to do some sparring with Tank Davis and maybe Ryan Garcia. Tell us some of the guys you got to spar in the past is
So
pretty well known now.
Tank Davis, Devin Haney, Rolando Romero, Jordanis Ugas, Gamboa, Rances Bartolome, Jorge Linares. Man, the list goes on and on. Like Luis Arias was another one of them. Man, I've had so many Diamante Verdejo before he got locked up and he committed the things that he did. A lot of the world champions prospects, I've been around in the ring with them, even the Vargas, the Vargas dynasty, the brothers, I've been in
Right.
there with them. So it's been a great opportunity, great privilege to be in the ring, with every single one of them, from prospects to world champions, and that's what we're here for, man. It's to develop, to develop our careers, to become great fighters, and I've been saying, I hope and I pray to God and I ask God to help
Right.
me become the first unified male world champion from Puerto Rico, because we already have a female that's unified, and so we want a male, the first unified male, and I hope, oh glory to God, that I can become, one day one of those legends from Puerto Rico.
Okay, then Bruce has another question. I'm sorry, Bruce, we were listening to him focus on his conversation. Bruce says, do you have a fight lined up? We talked about that, but go ahead and answer Bruce's question.
So right now, Bruce, we're actually in negotiations for either a fight in November, late November, early December. I can't really say too much until the contract's done and signed, but definitely, I don't plan on staying, inactive. We already had a year and 5 months without any activity. So we don't plan on following that again. We definitely plan on getting back into the ring, getting at least one or two more fights before the year ends.
Okay. And I just want to give respect. You have a brother, Ezekiel Barrow. Does your brother still
Yes.
fighting too? Or
Well,
no?
my brother is still training. He had a couple fights scheduled. For a couple of fights fell off. But I honestly don't know if he decides to continue with it or not. Of course, I'm here to support him, and I show him nothing but love. But as far as his career, I'm not aware if he's gonna continue or not.
Right.
We haven't really talked too much about it. I know he's still in the gym and he's still getting ready, so I'm pretty sure he's still waiting to continue his career. He's just waiting for that right phone call.
Right. I was just curious. That's another. Yeah, Joey has his brother is a professional boxer too, and he's a young man as well. Had a few professional fights. But Joey, tonight we talked about in the past, and I just want to get this. This tonight was a show about encouragement to the other younger fighters, amateur fighters, even young professionals, or anybody going through something. How I originally met Joey is you were posting some stuff on TikTok with your boxing videos, and you're giving a lot of inspirational uh, little shorts that you were putting up in stories, and I thought that was pretty cool, and that's how we originally met. Uh, but tell people how originally you were boxing. From my understanding in the past, you were boxing from last time I talked to you, and then you've been through a lot of tough times, and then how in your spiritual walk, how God has helped you through and things like that. Real quick, Steve, I'm going to bring you on. Don't let Joey finish this. I'll bring you on. He's going to tell us a little bit about some struggles he had in the past and how a spiritual walk has brought him through and some inspirational things he can tell us about what he's been through. Steve, we missed you, brother. We have another special guest on tonight.
Joining us today live on set, a special guest.
Steve Penn Music is in the house. Hey, Steve. Hey, brother.
What's up, y'all, man? I'm just chilling, man. I had a long day. What's up, Joey?
What's up, bro?
Everything is good, man. I heard a lot about you. I really look up to boxers and especially newcomers and like yourself, man. And I got a lot of questions that like normal boxing analysts won't ask. Like I got weird questions. I think they weird to the general public, but to me, being a big boxing fan, it's not really weird to me. I'll give you one example, just one example, even though I got five. But I want to know, how do you feel right before you get into a fight, and what does your fight day look like? How do you feel in your gut? How do you feel mentally? Like, how do you prepare even days before the fight? How do you get yourself prepared mentally to be like, to get ready and fight? I want to know that.
So, in all honesty, if any man, any fighter tells you, "Oh, I'm not nervous," or I've been doing this since I was 6 years old. I've had lots of fights. And at the end
Yeah,
of the day, you still get the nerves. But in my head, I know that as soon as I throw that first punch, all of that goes away. I learned
yeah,
how to stay calm in the like before the fight. So the day, like my week before, like the weigh-in and everything, I make sure I'm making sure I'm staying on weight. The
yeah,
thoughts that are in the back of the head that I'm gonna fight. But you fighting doesn't really settle in until that weigh-in happens. Once that weigh-in
yeah,
happens, that's when your laser focus comes in. And
yeah,
one thing that Mike Tyson, and Sugar Ray Leonard have said, and this is so true about fighters, is that when you're gonna lose because you feel it not just in your gut. You don't feel it in your nerves or nothing. You feel it in your spirit. Your
yeah,
spirit, something about it feels off. And I
yeah,
can tell because I discern it from the feeling I had from the fight that I did lose and the fights that I've won. I have that feeling like, man, I feel good, I feel great, or you have that feeling uncomfortable inside you that's coming from inside. You want to say your gut, but it's really your spirit. And it's like, man, I like something's gonna happen. There's something going on, and you just feel uneasy. So when you deal with those things, you gotta learn how to calm yourself, prepare yourself mentally. What I do is I spend a lot of time in my word. I pray, I give it all to God. Because I give him the glory. At the end of the day, I wouldn't be where I'm at or even thought about being where I've gotten if it wasn't for him. So when
yeah.
you give it to him in his hands, he'll basically like help you handle everything. Faith
Well,
without works is dead. So if
yeah,
you believe you're gonna do something but you're not putting action behind it, I can say I'm gonna win. But if I'm going out there and I'm letting my nerves still be on me and be letting
Right.
those emotions get to me, then I'm not gonna win because I'm not putting the action behind it. I'm believing in my fear. But when you set your fear aside and believe what the word of God is telling you, man, it's a complete different ball game.
did you ever have a situation where you felt like you was gonna win, but you lost?
Well, in the amateurs, yes. In the amateurs, yes. It was one of the tournaments that I fought. I believe it was the Western qualifiers. I had a great training camp. I dropped the dude the day before in the tournament. I had like KO. Like it's not even like usually in amateurs you get TKO. You go on my amateur record, you see it was a KO, like clean KO. So I felt great. The next day I was scheduled to fight one dude, and then out of nowhere everything got changed. My coach wasn't able to be in my corner. So I was like, you know what? It doesn't matter. I'm used to opposition, used to difficult things. I'm going to be able to make it through. And I was disappointed because I was expecting to take the whole tournament, not just me, but everybody that was there. We got eliminated at semifinals. So it was tough. It was a tough pill to swallow because when everybody's expecting you to win and you have all this hype behind you and you end up losing, it's like, oh man, like you want to
Yeah.
blame yourself, but it's just the situation, it's just the things. When it's meant for you, it's meant for you. When it's not, it's not.
Yeah, boxing is a tough sport, and my hat go off to all boxers because you got to be a certain type of brave type of person to do boxing. Just like just like air pilots that fly the airplanes. I never want to fly an airplane. I think you gotta be a you. I think you gotta be a tough person to want to fly a fucking airplane. Are you kidding me? What if I make push one button wrong and I destroy everybody? Boxing kind of like that. You gotta put your nerves on the guy. You gotta believe in yourself. Pilots gotta believe in themselves to land this aircraft.
Yes.
And I believe boxers are the same way. You gotta believe in yourself to land that knockout. So my hats go off to you. I wish you nothing but the luck. I've been trying to find more clips on you to watch you because like I tell KO, I'm a casual boxing fan. And let me tell you why I'm a casual boxing fan. Cause I'm really a old school boxing fan. But
Okay.
because fighters be always dodging and ducking each other and fights take so long to make, I lose interest in it. I say,
Yes.
you know what? I'd rather watch UFC because not you, but your co-partners and your co-peers take so long to make a freaking fight, and then when they make the fight, it's $89, and I don't want to watch
Man.
this
Yeah, this is like what I tell people, man. It's like they have the Floyd Mayweather effect. The greats don't want to fight the greats. They rather take $1 million payday against a dude that still, is ranked like number 50 or something. He's still not at the top 10. They
shit.
rather take $1 million fight against that dude that they know they're gonna beat
Right.
instead of taking a $700,000 fight for a world title against the other world titleists, or somebody that has won the spot on the top contenders, because they find it is more dangerous for them to lose the fight. And
Yeah,
I've plenty of times have I called out big names, but at this point I'm just waiting. I understand that I gotta build my value in their eyes a little bit more. So if it comes to that, man, and I have to go through the rankings and make these sanctioning bodies push the issue and push the fight to make it happen, then that's what's gonna have to be.
Okay.
yeah. I think that you can do it. I just think that you have to beat motherfuckers ass. Beat they motherfucking ass and beat they ass and tell them I don't give a fuck. Give me a million. I gotta give a fuck. You gotta be like that. These guys are prima donnas. These guys are acting like, oh, they too good. I like Tank Davis. I like Shakur Stevenson. I like Devin Haney. I like all those guys. But you acting like prima donnas. You acting like you too good to fight for 1 million. You tell them. You tell them. I'll fight anybody and I can beat them. And make sure you can beat them. And beat
Yeah,
them. And beat them. I'll beat them for $1 million. I'll beat them. Talk that
and
shit, man.
you
Talk
just said
that
a
shit,
name.
man.
You just said a name, man. Like Devin Haney, bro, like I don't respect what he just did with that whole Ryan Garcia fight, bro. Like with him getting it taken care of, taken out of his record. Yeah, whatever, dude tested dirty for a supplement that is not even known to enhance a lot of you. You know what I mean? It's literally a supplement that numbs your system to let your system think that it's not tired. That's all that supplement does. You know what I mean? And when you tested dirty for something like that, not too long ago, he was on an interview with Andre Ward,
Right.
and Andre Ward straight up asked him a question. He got offended because Andre was telling him, like, hey, bro, like, it wasn't a big deal, and the thing is, you see Miguel Cotto. Miguel Cotto got beat by Margarito. Margarito had hand wraps that
Yeah,
had
yeah,
cast on
yeah,
them.
yeah, yeah,
He
yeah,
took the
yeah,
L to the chin, and what did he do? I'm gonna keep the L. He could have went and fought it in
yeah,
court, got it out of his record. He said, "You know what? I'm gonna take the L, but I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna beat you, and I'm gonna make sure that you're not wearing no hand wraps, that you don't have no steroids in your body, that everything is set straight, so that I'm able to do what I have to do." And that I would have respected more if he would have took that approach to it instead of, oh, well, you got to take this fight, this loss off my record. You got to do this. You got to do that. No, bro. Learn how to be a man. You
yeah,
lost. Take
yeah.
it.
So moving forward, I would love to see a matchup with you and Devin Haney. Um, and I would love to see you and any fighter prepare for a fighter that
Yep.
you might think are on PEDs, like train extra hard, like Rocky, like the Rocky
Yep.
movies, because that's
Bro,
what
I
boxing
would
is.
take a fight against Ryan Garcia. Him on pads or not, bro, I would take it. Why? Because I know what I got, bro. I know what I
Yeah,
got. I know what I can do. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I've seen people, fellow training camp people that have been with me that have told me, hey man, I was in there, you know, and I whooped them. And I was like, dude, like if you whooped them, I'm like, it ain't no big deal. Styles make fights, of course. And I'm not
yeah,
bad talking him, bad mouthing him, but you know, what about these up and coming fighters that they
Right.
work to get that opportunity, but they're not getting it because they want to avoid and they want to pick and choose who they want to fight.
yeah. So you from Omaha, Nebraska?
No, no, no. I'm from Colorado right now. Yeah. I live
Oh, I
originally from Puerto Rico, but right now I live in Colorado.
okay. You from Colorado, man? I thought for some reason because Ko say, "Yo, I want you to get on a I want you to be on this interview with me." I thought you was out of Omaha, and I was trying to find more clips of you on YouTube, and I'm definitely gonna be following you because I believe in you. I believe in all fighters. I think all fighters can beat each other up.
That's probably
It
true.
depends on what day it is.
Yep.
Right.
That is a big,
It
big
depends
fact.
on it depends how hard you train it. It depends on how you want it. Some fighters just want the check. Some fighters want the glory. Some fighters want the renown. Some fighters want to be whatever. Some fighters don't give a fuck. Some fighters take fights. I think Danny Garcia took this fight because he want a paycheck. Danny Garcia ain't want it. He wasn't hungry. And I think he's a great fighter, but I think it's time for him to lay down. But
And
you,
I agree with that, you know. And Danny Garcia, he's a New Yorican. We consider from Puerto Rico, from the island, we consider them New Yoricans. You know, he wanted to represent
wait
the
a minute, wait a
island.
minute, wait a minute. When you say New York, does that mean a Puerto Rican from New York?
It's kind of like a Puerto
A New
Rican
York
from New
Rican?
York or a Puerto Rican that's from out here in the States that is trying to be from the island. You know,
Yeah.
because
Oh,
the way that Puerto
I thought it was a I thought it was a Puerto Rican from New York. Why you say New York?
that's just the reference and the way that they say it. Because usually Puerto Ricans, when they leave Puerto Rico, or a lot of Puerto Ricans that are born, they're usually born in New York. So that's a reference
Yeah.
that they use over there. You
Is
know,
That's
that
what I said. That's what I thought. New York. I'm
yeah.
from up top. I'm from Connecticut, but I'm not from New York. So when you say that, oh, there's a lot of New Yorkers out there, and they can fight, bro. They can fight, man.
Yes, yes. Not
Yeah,
saying that they can't fight, but I'm going based off what the Puerto Rican fan base looks at too. You know, for example, like this Edgar Berlanga, you gotta respect him for him lasting. He got the respect of the Puerto Rican people for
man.
lasting that long.
All
But
right, all
he
right. Look,
lost respect because he didn't come out with the Puerto Rican anthem. You
no,
know, it's
listen. Let me tell you something. I'm gonna tell you why Belinga lost, man. Belinga could beat Canelo. I'm gonna tell you why he lost. It's one number one factor that he lost the most important punch in boxing. That was that jab. He's waiting on Canelo. Yo, Belinga was in that bitch. He was in it, but he didn't use that fucking jab. He is bigger than Canelo. He could have beat Canelo. Canelo dropped him. He got up. He got up. You got to use that jab, man.
but you
If
gotta
you look at
remember
that tape, he
this.
could have banged him mad times. He could have been banging him
right?
mad times, and he didn't fucking do it. Why he didn't do it,
This
I don't know.
This is a big thing too. I started noticing Canelo every combo he was landing a body shot, landing a body shot. So I understand why in the later rounds he wasn't able to throw as much because your
Yeah,
gas tank is already gone. But you know, in the earlier rounds, he could have, like you said, landed that jab, kept insisting with it. And another big mistake that he made is in those big weight classes, you can't depend too much on boxing. You can't box too much. If you
sometimes
notice,
you
the
gotta
whole
fight.
time Canelo was putting pressure, dictating, throwing those combos, landing, and Berlanga was just going backwards and waiting. You
He
can't
not
counter
throwing.
in that weight
He
class.
wasn't throwing a jab. He's so much bigger than Canelo. He was so much longer than Canelo. When he threw the jab, it was working. He didn't throw it enough. If that boy doubled up on his jab, I wouldn't change nothing about his game plan, his fight plan. Only thing I would have changed, more fucking
Jabbing.
jabs. He had the chin, he had the power, he had the spirit, he had the gut. He was scared of Canelo.
Yeah.
He was scared of him. He got a formal jab. I would like to, I will have like to see, I would like to see a rematch. I would like to see a rematch.
Yeah.
And
I
I don't
would.
think I don't think the rematch should be a year long. Like, yo, let somebody get in there, man. Pop that jab. He's longer than Canelo. He's just as big, if not bigger than him. He's bigger than Canelo, and he did a good job. He did a damn good job.
Right.
Yes, he did.
He let himself down. He let himself down. He let the Canelo hype get to him. He believed in Canelo more than he believed in himself.
Too
And
much
that's
respect. Yeah.
And Joey, don't ever let that happen to you.
oh no. Trust me, man. If
Man,
once you
you go
start
out there,
watching my
man.
fights, go on my Instagram, watch the fights that are posted there. Go on YouTube, Google me. You'll see what type of fighter I am, and you'll see that that's not part of me, bro. That ain't part of me.
Man, don't ever. I don't give a fuck who you go against. You got a jab too. I didn't watch no tapes of you. I asked KO, who's Joey? I don't know who Joey is, but I know Joey good because cause fucking KO say, man, I got a fighter. I'm like, bring him on. I want to talk to him. The first question that I ask you, what do you feel like before you go into a fight? Are you nervous? What do you think about? I couldn't imagine fighting. I couldn't imagine like, oh, I gotta fight. I get ready when I get ready just to sneak punch a nigga on the street. I'm like about to get this dude. I get nervous about that. I can't imagine about y'all about to fight. You got to stay composed and calm. I do know that. And I know the street stuff is different, but man, don't let nobody, if you never lost, don't let nobody take your L, bro. And you got my support.
Right.
Don't let nobody take your L.
Right.
Nobody.
Yep.
And if
Mr.
they do,
Right.
and if they do take your L, it's not the end. Come back. Because the best champions lost. And they
Yep.
came back. Everybody can't be Floyd Mayweather, but you come back. That's the meaning. That's life. That's life. We all take L's in life. But how you gonna bounce back though?
Yep.
Okay, there's stop there for a
100%.
minute, Joey.
So you got
Sorry,
my support, man. You got my support, man.
Steve, give me one second.
Yeah.
Question I had for Joey right before you came on had a lot of good questions about how you felt before a fight is uh, you said, how do you make it through? You asked him just now. We were asking him how, from back when he was younger, his faith and his spiritual walk, how has it brought him through to stay strong each and every day? Joey, tell us about that and how it's helped you, how it's helping you deal with the doubts in your mind you were talking about earlier, those type of things.
One thing that I've known is I've been destined for it. Out of millions of families I could have been born in, billions, not millions, billions of families I could have been born in. God allowed me to be in a family where my uncle is a world champion, a legend in Puerto Rico, and I was able to be raised around it. And the fact that I've been able to overcome so much, from dealing with the cartel when I was fighting in Mexico, when the whole COVID shutdown happened, that I wasn't able to get any fights here in the States. So I literally was going to Mexico to get a record and start winning, start fighting, but I wasn't going to like no Tijuana, no Rosarito. I was going to Guadalajara, Cancun. I was going deep in Mexico. I went through some struggles, with the cartel. I let my own self, my own ego get to my head because it ended up costing me my family at one point. I got the dream. I had at one point the dream house, the car, everything you would want as a boxer coming out to the United States. But I ended up, messing up, going in strip clubs, hanging around, smoking weed, and doing all these things that I shouldn't have done as an athlete, and I messed up. I ended up costing myself my own family, And when I thought everything was over, people were telling me, hey, dude, you're still young. You're only 20. Go work a 9 to 5 at Amazon. You're going to be okay. I was like, you know what? I could listen to these people, go work at Amazon and try to get my life together. Or I can take
Right.
the hard route, have faith in myself, and keep pushing towards this career. And after that, right now as I'm standing, my family's restored. I ended up having, all glory to God, because God restored my family. I was able to get my first belt as the American Boxing Federation champion at 140. And after that, I made a great record. I'm 12 wins, one loss, 9 wins by KO. And the fact that I have my uncle Felix Trinidad support, and a legend like Ivan Calderon is real big, because you don't see them helping just anybody. You know what I mean?
Right.
You don't see them stepping out just helping anybody. They believe in me. They believe that I can be the next Puerto Rican star. So it's not just about them, but I believe in myself, and I believe in the words that God told me that He was gonna make me a world champ. So no matter how dark it gets, to everybody that's listening, no matter how bad it gets, you feel like everything's over, and doesn't matter what dream you got. If it feels like it's getting dark and life is getting tough, remember, before a blessing comes, you have to go through a trial. What happened to Job? Job lost his family. Job got
Amen.
tested. He
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 got
he
tested.
they man, his
Yeah.
wife told him, "Why don't you just
Curse
curse God
God.
and
Curse
die?"
God.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And he said
Yeah.
no. He stayed faithful,
Yeah.
did not do anything, out of the ordinary. He just kept doing his thing,
Yeah.
following God, preaching, praising, worshiping. And
Yo.
guess what? At the end of the story, after all these trials and tribulations, when he lost everything, he got double of what he had originally.
Yo,
So
Joey.
just yeah.
You said that. You said that right there. You said that right there. Bro, I'm a fan. I'm rooting for you all the way. You know the story of Job? Job
Yes.
was tested. You think about that as a fighter? Yo, I'm your number one fan, man. I'm gonna be
Thank you,
following
bro.
you.
God
I'm
bless,
pushing.
man.
Man,
It's all
what?
love, bro.
What, man? What? You
Yeah.
talking about you talking about the story of Job? Are you serious? I love you, man.
No, I
Yo,
love
you
you
got
too,
my
bro.
support, man.
Like I said,
Word
man,
up.
I'm just here, and I'm able to be here because of God, bro. Like, I've been through something. I lost my family, and just reaching out to God and asking Him to help me and trusting Him in the process was what helped me get through it. Cause I saw some dark times, bro. When I fought custody, at that time I had lost my contract, lost my house, lost my car, had no money to pay for attorneys, and all I had was faith. All I had was trust in God. My career, it was in a pause because my manager wasn't getting me fights because I was going through custody battles and with my wife now, and going through all these things. And everybody just told me, "Hey, bro, like, just give up on boxing."
Right.
Kind of similar to Job, curse your God and die. You know what I mean? Like, nah, like God gave me that dream. He put me in the position that I'm at for a reason, and I use my platform not just to let people know that I'm a boxer, but to glorify God. You see some of my videos, I'm preaching, I'm talking about my testimony. I'm always encouraging people that it doesn't matter how far you've gone or what you've done in your life. God always loves you. He died for your sins, present, past, and future. Doesn't mean He died and He's gonna forgive you once and that's it. No, He constantly keeps forgiving you, but you got to come like the prodigal son and keep searching for God. Keep looking for Him, because He's going to come and he's going to love you. Just like when you love, He's going to love you. The thing is, you can't play with God's grace either, because God is love, but God is also a consuming fire. And that's what people don't understand. We're not perfect. No man is. But we got to understand that God forgives us, but it comes to a place where He comes in. It's like me and you, bro. If you were to forgive me so many times, but I keep falling over the same thing and keep doing the same mistake, at that point, it doesn't become a mistake. I'm doing it purposely. I'm denying it purposely. It doesn't matter if you extend your hand to help me 10,000 times. But if I'm purposely doing it those 10,000 times, messing up, or doing that same thing, you're gonna be like, all right, this dude's just playing around. He's not messing up now. He's doing it because he loves it. He wants to mess up. It's not he's doing it on accident. So that's what we gotta come to an understanding of. God loves us and he's gonna forgive us, bro. It doesn't matter what it is. Romans 8:28, for everything the devil meant for bad, God turns for good for those who love him. So as long as you love God and in your heart you have that fear of God and you have that reverence for God, bro, God's gonna love you and he's gonna work in you and he's gonna work through you in so many different ways. But you gotta have the faith on one, not to give up on your dream, and two, to keep striving to be that man that God wants you to be.
Amen.
Amen.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Salute, man. Salute, man.
Appreciate that, Joey.
Salute.
Uh,
So,
the,
all
the,
glory to
the
God, bro.
Yep, that's how we met Joey. Because again, guys, Joey's. How do we find you on Instagram, Joey? Under your name,
So
Joey.
it's Boxing Joey. You can find me on Instagram as Boxing Joey. On TikTok, they call me El Hijo de Dios, which translates to the Son of God. Like Andre Ward, but in Spanish, El Hijo de Dios on TikTok. So it's, or you could just type in my name, Joey Borrero, just like it is on the screen, and you can find it, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, everywhere. You know what I mean? And I just, like I said, I'm just a tool, man. I'm just a vessel that God uses. I'm put in this position because I'm able to reach people and talk to them in this area, because you know we got to realize you can go to church, but there's places where a pastor can't go. A pastor can't, not all pastors can go to the hood and go preach to the people that are lost there. Why? Because they don't have that background. But if you're somebody that got rescued from that lifestyle and you know how everything moves, God's gonna use you to go reach to those people. You know, just like Puerto Rico. The way that I've been, I grew up in poverty, bro. I grew up in a lot of things. Even though my uncle was on top of the world, he took care more of his immediate family. You know what I mean? He was there more for his immediate family. But for us, I had to go through struggle, to chase the dream. My grandma barely had money to pay for doctors and things like that. So when I would see her stressing out, it would affect us. But now as an older gentleman, I'm able to bless my kids and show them the same love and provide for them. Even if it costs me everything I have, I'm able to provide for my kids the same love that was implanted in me by my grandma, and by my grandpa. And that's a big thing. I honor the values from old school, because we see this generation now, they losing respect for your adults. You see
Right.
these young kids cussing out adults, bro, in the stories, or older gentlemen, and you're like, man, what the heck? I understand we're not all perfect, bro. I'm not gonna sit here and be like I'm holier than thou, because I've made mistakes. I made mistakes, you know what I mean? But the thing is that I know that I'm not perfect, and I know who to go to whenever I need to. Not just when I'm in trouble, but even when I'm in the good, because I'm grateful for God for the blessings I have today. Cause that's how you stay blessed. Is being grateful to God for everything you have today. And when
Mm-hmm.
you're struggling, don't look at the negative. Don't look at what's going on, but look at the positivity. Because what happened when Peter stepped out of that boat? He was looking at the storm, and he stepped out, started walking. But when he looked at the storm, took his eyes off God, that's when he started drowning. That's when he started sinking. And it's the same for us, bro. We take our eyes off the goal, of God, of the dream that He gave us, and we start looking at the problems that are going on in our lives, we're gonna end up drowning by those problems.
Right. Yep.
Facts.
Right. Steve
Facts.
Penn hasn't heard the story. What I remember, I did an interview with you about a year ago, year and a half ago. You were talking about when you're fighting down in Mexico. You actually got stopped by the drug cartel. Tell us that story and tell us what happened, and how this is a kind of an inspirational thing too. How God's
So,
looking out for you.
man, it was crazy. I got in Colima. At the time I wasn't following God like I should have. At the time I was like, oh, you know what? It's COVID. I was just trying to get my fights back in. And I started hanging out with some people that God took out of my life for a reason, but I put myself back in that position. I put myself hanging around with them. We drove to Mexico, stayed there, we were hanging out, we were smoking weed and doing whatever, but coming into Puerto Vallarta from Colima, right there, the cartel, we saw that they were stopping people. And again, it's people in military dress, like military, but they don't have no names, no rankings, nothing like that. You have like a skull of a cop with like a cop like helmet on, and it says no policia. So you knew in that city, it was like a dead body just hanging right there on a sign. And right after we passed that, that's when the cartel pulled us over with the car. Right before that happened, we all felt a spirit of death. Like it was a terrifying emotion that just overcame that we all knew that we were gonna die. We're like, God, like, what is this? So my friends, they were all like, hey, bro, like we all made a plan. They just told me, look, I don't feel good. You guys feel that? It wasn't like I just felt it. It was everybody in the car. It was in the atmosphere. So they were making a plan. They were like, look, if they try to do anything to us, you run that way, I run this way, and you run that way. One of us is gonna survive. And I was like, man, I was like, okay, in my head I was ready. But I told God it right before I got out, I was like, God, forgive me, Lord. I've been doing wrong before your eyes. I know I've been smoking. I know I've been doing things that are not good before your eyes. I've been doing things like going around and trying to sleep with all these girls and trying to do all this. God forgive me because I know I'm not in the right. So guess
Yeah.
what? In that moment, I thought, oh, you know what? This is it. This is all it. I'm gonna die here. And right there and then the promoter
Mhm.
had given me before I left Colima, he gave me a big poster of my fight. Cartel came, grabbed everything out of the car, threw the suitcases out, basically asked her, hey, what are you guys doing here? They pulled everything, asked us for paperwork, pretended like they knew how to read English. We didn't even have a permit to be that deep into Mexico. So when we gave them the paperwork, they just pretended like they knew what they were reading, but they weren't, they didn't. So what we did is, I asked God, I sat there, I followed everything they said, and they were like, hey, why are you guys here? Like, we didn't find, where's the drugs? Where's the nice clothes? What do you guys have? They went through everything, they didn't find nothing. Finally, one of them pulls out my poster, a boxing poster. And he's like, is this you? And I'm like, yeah, I came out to box. I just came out over here to do my career. I haven't been doing anything bad. You guys saw, you guys looked through all the car. I'm talking to them in Spanish. I was like, you guys didn't find nothing. So nine of them, I think it was 9 or 10 of them, they were in a circle and they were like, hey, pointed their guns at me. And they were like, all right, well, if you're a boxer, let's see you shadow box. So I shadow box at gunpoint for my life, bro. I still laugh to this day because I shadow box at gunpoint for my life. And they were
Yeah.
like, okay, this guy's good. This guy's good. Okay. You know what? I'm gonna give you 5 minutes. Grab all your stuff in the car, throw it in. If you're not out of here in 5 minutes, then we're not responsible for what's gonna happen to you next. Bro,
Yeah.
we didn't try to organize nothing. We just grabbed everything we could, threw it in the car, and we're out. If we left something, we left something, but
Yeah.
I remember in that moment when that happened, I got back to Vegas because at the time I was living in Las Vegas, and I was like, God, thank you, because I know that was you, But
Mhm.
I got there, and I saw my son. The first thing I did was hug my son, bro. Started breaking down, crying. Cause I was like, I didn't think I was ever gonna see you again. And at
Yeah.
the time, my wife, we weren't together. She was just like looking at me weird, like, what's going on? What happened? So I told her the story. And a week later, I'm at a church service. Pastor come prays for me. I feel the Holy Spirit drop over me, bro. And he tells me the Holy Spirit wants me to tell you that the devil attempted against your life But God wants you to know that He was there and He did not allow it because He
Let's
has a
go.
great purpose for you.
Let's go. Let's
And in
go.
that moment, bro, I was like, God, man, I was like, I felt bad. I cried so much. Why? Because I understood, bro, that when the Bible says that there's nothing righteous in us, that everything's wicked, it is. Because God gave me an opportunity again. Even though I failed him so many times, he still loved me enough to use me, to give me another opportunity, to allow me to see my son, bro. Like one thing not too long ago, I heard in a preaching, that it's in the Bible, it's a scripture. Your kids are a blessing to you. And when that
Oh
hits you
yeah.
in the heart,
Oh
you're
yeah.
like, man, God, why are you blessing me with
Oh
a
yeah.
with a children? Why are you blessing
Oh
me
yeah.
with my own kids? And it hits you hard
Right.
because once you get that understanding that your children are a blessing, you're like, man, God, why? Why me? Why bless me with a life? Why trust me with somebody else's life to guide them and make sure that they walk in the right path like you? So
Yeah.
that's it's big, and it's a beautiful thing when you realize and you're grateful for the
Yeah.
things that God provides for you instead of worrying about what you need and what God's gonna give you. Worry about being grateful for what you already have, because that's when you open, you let God know, God, I'm grateful for what you've given me. So guess what? God's gonna be like, okay, He appreciates the little I'm giving him. So watch. I'm blessing you now, but watch what I have for you. And he opens the floodgates of heaven, blesses you with even more. You weren't even expecting it, but he's gonna do it. Why? Because God is true to his word.
Yo, Joey, you the man, yo.
Oh, thank you.
You the man, yo. I wish
I'm
nothing but the best from you as a single father of three. I
man,
understand what you talk about as your kids being a blessing. My kids saved me so many times. I fought for custody for my kids as a single black man here in America.
man.
Man, I wish nothing but the best for you. I'm gonna make sure that I tap in with you and follow your career. I wish nothing but the best for you. I want to see you be the champ. I don't want you to ever forget me. My
No,
name's
I'm not,
Steve
bro.
Penn.
All glory to God, bro. And that's one thing about me. I always remember I'm good with faces. I'm good with names, man. So, I'm not like that because once you start growing up, bro, and you stop touching that floor, all you have is to go down. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? And God already took me there when I was younger in my pro career. I try to exalt myself, try to elevate myself. And all I did was go high a little bit, but then I crashed the floor down, lost everything. So now the fact that he restored everything to me, man, I value it way more than what I did before. And I'm just a messenger, bro. I don't look at you. I could be world champion, and probably people don't believe it because I'm still not in that position. But remember this, and people are gonna go back to this interview, but I could be world champion and I can see a person that's homeless on the street. I'll hug that person. I'll give that person help. I'll give them food or whatever I can to help them. Why? Because today I'm up here, but tomorrow,
Mhm.
who knows? That might be me in that position. You know, I have my kids, but who knows if my kids one day are gonna need from somebody in that way. So the fact that you're able to bless somebody and help them out of a pure heart and you're genuine about it, you're not expecting something back, bro. That's great because at the end of the day, all that God blesses not just you, but your generations to come. And you don't do it for the blessing, you just do it because God's true to his word, because he says it in his word. You know,
yeah.
and like I said, I'm a messenger, bro. I'm just here. I preach, I talk normally, but the Bible says whatever your heart is full of is what comes out of your mouth, is what flows. So my heart is full of God, bro, the love of God. So all I have is love for everybody, bro, because I can't hate
Well,
nobody,
if you
no
if you
matter.
if you have that so much love for everybody, why you want to punch people in their face?
Okay. So this is the thing, is the motive behind the heart. Psalms 144:1. The Lord prepares my hands for war and my fingers for battle. And it also says in the book of Exodus, God is a God of war, and
Yes.
Jehovah is his name. So guess what? The Bible also says God doesn't change today, tomorrow. He's not changing, shifting shadow. So guess what? It doesn't matter what you have. If my motive was I want to be a boxer because I want to beat the heck out of that dude and beat him up so bad that his family doesn't recognize him, God's not gonna bless that. But if my heart is, you know what, I want to be a champion because I want to provide for my family, but I want to be a great role model for this youth, for the young kids now. God's going to be like, okay, he's
Right.
trying to do the right thing. He has the right motive. He blesses you. So I understand because it's not the first time I get that question. It's not the first time I get that.
I'm just I'm just playing. That was just a joke question, man. That was a
I know,
joke
I know,
question,
I know.
man.
Pretty funny.
Oh man, this has been great. This has been great, man.
Well, Joey, for the fans out there might be watching, I don't mean to change this up real quick. We can come back, have some fun, and get some basic other questions other way to get to know Joey a little bit better. But Joey, I have some pictures that I pulled off of some of your sites
Yeah.
to give some people from the picture. Let's go through. We can still talk as we're showing this picture.
Yeah,
And
that's
Steve, you have
fine.
any question? Okay, this picture here was this. What fight was this here in the past?
That was in Guadalajara, Mexico. That was an experienced vet. The kid at the time, I think his last name is Ibarra. I forgot his first name, but he was a tough fighter. I've actually fought him in one of Canelo's cards. That was one of Canelo's shows back in Mexico, in Guadalajara. Um, and kid can fight. He lasted me a whole 8 rounds. He was a 0-26 guy. And people think, oh, this guy's a bum. No, like if you see the fighters he fought and you see footage on him, the guy knew how to fight. Guy knew how to box. It was just one of them Mexican dudes that you gotta hit with the kitchen sink for them to get knocked out. And even
Hmm,
then it's a questioning, bro. But
even
it was a
question.
great fight, great experience, man. I loved it.
Okay, here's another one. Another picture. Is it one of your fight cards or?
Yeah, so that was the last fight I had on July 19th in Puerto Rico. That was in Mario Quijote Morales. So that was a great experience for me. Like I said, I was able to fight back home, and fight in front of my people. So it was great.
Now this was the fight was in Puerto Rico.
Yes.
Okay, that's cool. And here's a picture, real quick. Steve Penn might want to see this picture, real quick. Now, who's that? Those guys next to you here.
Hey man, that's a good friend of mine. That's Shane Mosley Jr. and Teofimo Lopez Sr. You know what I mean? That was at the Box Fan Expo. They're great people. I've been knowing Shane for years, and Teofimo's dad, I've been knowing him too for quite a bit of time. I've had more of a relationship with Teofimo Jr., but Senior, he's always been around in the picture.
Okay, great, great. Okay, just a couple more, then we'll come back to me and Steve. And this one is that your family, your girlfriends, or who? Your wife? Who?
Nah,
They're
so
just
that was actually, I believe, my 10th, no, ninth fight here in Denver, Colorado, when I fought at the Hotel Grand Plaza. Those are some of the ring girls taking pictures with me when I was there. That picture actually got me in trouble. That picture got me in trouble. But hey, yeah.
well, that's just part of the business, you know. I mean,
Yeah.
family has an understanding about that. Okay, and here's this one. This was pretty cool right here. Those big old muscles in those arms, throwing those punch.
That was actually an action shot of the fight I just had July 19th in Puerto Rico. It was a great, great show, man. Physically prepared. I was supposed to come in at catchweight at 138. I made 135 easy, So I'm like, I want those people like Rayo Valenzuela at 135. He's the WBA champion on the, Pitbull Cruz. I want big fights like that eventually. So hey, they know where I'm at. They know I've been trying to get a fight with them. So
Okay, great, great, great. Steve's back in the house with the smoke in the background. Steve, you know they're smoking. I seen you smoking a cigarette earlier. Okay, that's fine. Hey, Steve, we'll pull you back up. We messed up. Yeah, we're just showing some pictures from some of the Facebook sites or Instagram sites that I pulled up to share with the other fans to get see some pictures of Joey in the past in the boxing world. But yeah, we're glad you came on there. What time is it? It's 10:08. Maybe, another 10, 15 minutes at the most, maybe before 10:30. It's 10 o'clock my time, and usually we don't go past an hour and a half. because it gets too long at that point. Now, Steve, is there any other questions you'd like to ask Joey or share with him or pick away or give
Of
you a
course,
chance?
of course, of course, man. I want to know. One of the things I want to know who would Joey like to fight next, and I kind of want to know his training regimen, like how many times per week he trained, and what else? What else? What type of music that he likes to listen to? That's what I want to know.
Okay,
Three
so
questions. Three questions.
okay, so first one fighter that I want to fight, either Oscar Valdez or Navarrete at 135. If I go up to 140, Devin Haney, Tank Davis, or Ryan Garcia. I'll even fight Ryan at 147. You know,
Okay.
um,
Have you ever sparred Ryan Garcia?
Ryan Garcia actually was one of the fighters that I believe I was gonna get the opportunity to, but it never materialized in the sparring.
Now you have with Tank Davis, correct? In the
Yes,
past.
Tank Davis. Yes.
Okay. And I think in the past you told me you felt that Tank was one of the hardest punchers you sparred with.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Definitely. Before that Tank Davis Rolando Romero fight, I had experience sparring both of them, and Rolly, he stunned me before, and I've stunned him. But Tank was a different monster. Tank was an explosive power, bro. When he threw that right hand, even though it landed over right here, it's like he hit the button right where he needed to. Boom. I fell, got back up after like at the sparring session right away. But still, it was such a heavy punch because I've never been dropped clean like that in a sparring session. So but then again, like I said, sparring is different than a fight. In a
Right.
fight, he was getting because I got the best of him the first 3 rounds. You know,
Mhm.
and if I was to catch him with one of the shots, no headgear that I caught him with, I know he was gonna go down. So that was gonna be a matter of who was gonna drop the bomb first. And
If you
at
was
that
the,
point,
if
go
you was
ahead.
the fight tank, if you was the fight tank, which that'd be, I would love to see fight tank. I know my own like acknowledge of it all, but how would you see yourself beating Tank? I'm gonna tell you how I think you could beat Tank. I
Tank
didn't see
does
your
not
whole,
like pressure. Tank does not like pressure. And
and
I will tell you that much.
I think that you could beat him with your jab. You gotta have a relentless jab the whole fight.
This
Jab,
is
jab, 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 jab,
this is
jab,
the
jab.
thing. We've seen it with Mario Barrios, and I know because I've been in the ring with him. When you jab Tank and when you try to box him, Tank is actually a better boxer than he is a brawler. So when you
Yeah.
start putting pressure on him, keeping him busy and keeping him, because when you see me fight, I'm not one of those fighters that just throws one punch or 1, 2. No, I come at you relentlessly. I throw from awkward angles, and I'm throwing about 100 to 120 punches around. So he's
Wow.
gonna stay busy. He's not gonna know what to do. The only way he's gonna be able to catch me if I start trying to box him or he catches me with a counter like he did Rolando. And that's something that I would have to prepare because even for the Rolando fight, Rolando won those first 6 rounds, putting pressure coming forward, but he made a rookie mistake. What it was, he fell right into the trap. Just like oh, what's the guy that he dropped with the three upper? Like he threw the three right hands and then he just measured that uppercut.
Frank
Um,
Martin.
no, no, not Frank Martin. There was
No,
another
there was
one.
the one
Leo
before.
Santa Cruz.
Yep.
Santa Cruz.
Santa Cruz.
Yep. So he did the same thing to Santa Cruz. Frank Martin was actually fighting a decent fight, but he just got caught with that counter right hand, bro, and that was it. You know what I mean?
So basically, you telling me you would have to prepare your face and your jaw, uh, do
Yep.
jaw exercises and head
Yep. Neck
exercises.
exercises and just be ready to take those heavy punches, bro, because he's not
Yeah,
he's not a light puncher. You
yeah.
know, at the time I sparred him and he dropped me though, I wasn't really training. I just came in because they were like they offered me a good amount of change for the sparring. And I was like, you know what? Me and my family need the money right now, so I'm gonna go in there and handle business.
Well,
But
hey,
that's when you realize if you're not disciplined and you're not sticking to what you need to, you can't just jump the hoops like that because things like that happen.
Well, we're here. I know I had two other questions, but I'm just gonna rebuttal off your
Yeah.
analogy of you fighting Tank. And I'm not a boxer no more, and I never was a
Mm.
professional boxer, but I love the sport. But I think number one thing, I think the number one thing anybody fighting Tank right now, I think just like it's the same thing when they fought Mike Tyson. They was
Mm.
already mentally beat. They was like, yo, this is Mike Tyson I'm going up against. I gotta watch out for his heavy hitting, his fast movement. I think that's the number one key. Like get past that first. Like get past that first because you can hit him with something devastating too.
Yeah.
And I think Tank is good, but I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't really think Tank fought anybody that I now y'all gonna come at me for saying this, but
Yeah.
I don't think he really fought nobody on his level yet. You know
And
what
I
I'm
agree
saying?
with
I
you.
don't like
On his
like I don't
level yet. On
yeah,
his level yet.
I don't think nobody I don't think he fought. You know, I think Devin Haney would give him a good match. Rolly is strong, but he don't have that shit, the boxing shit.
Mm-hmm.
He ain't fought Shakur Stevenson. He hasn't fought Devin Haney. Fought Pitbull Cruz, but Pitbull Cruz don't like to use his jabs.
Mm-hmm.
You
Hot dog,
you're
dogs here.
yeah you're a lanky fighter. I think you could beat Tank, but you gotta believe it first. You gotta believe it first, and I don't know who you gotta go through to show people. But I think the number one thing, people don't be jabbing Tank like that. Like they jab him, but they don't jab him with the same art form that that he fight with. Yeah,
Yeah.
I need somebody to jab him with the same type of movement that he does. That's just as relentless. And I'm not scared of you. Like I'm not.
Mm-hmm.
I'm willing to take one of your hits. He ain't fought nobody like that. And I think maybe you, Joey, you probably that dude, man. That be like you go in there like I'm not scared of you. Think about Pitbull Cruz last fight. Who he fought? What was the guy name?
Rayo Valenzuela.
He
Yep.
won. He actually won. Everybody thought that he wasn't gonna win, but he outboxed him.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, picture that. And fucking Pitbull gave Tank a run for his money, even though Tank fought him with one hand. Tank fought him one hand. But look what what's his name? His name Joey too. What was his name?
Ryan Valenzuela, who
The
the
guy
one
that just Tank
that
last
beat
fight.
Pitbull.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
real.
Yeah,
No, Pitbull
Valenzuela.
last
Yeah,
fight. What was his name? Valerigo.
Rayo. Yeah,
Yeah.
Valenzuela Rayo. They
Yo,
call him Rayo.
he fucking boxed him. Tank
Yep.
ain't never had. I would like to see Tank fight hit that guy. And he don't fight that guy. I would like to see him fight you.
Yeah.
But you
Yeah.
know, you gotta go in there. You gotta go in there with a mind frame like, yo, I know this Tank. He gotta. Mike Tyson had a knockout punch power. Look what Buster Douglas did to him.
Yep.
Right.
And it was the Hunger
Everybody,
Buster Douglas. What he went through.
everybody beatable.
Yep.
But you
Right.
gotta have the confidence. And
To
with
do it.
God on your side, with God, you're a man of God. I think ain't no mountain too high enough for you to climb, brother.
Amen. Amen.
And I'm supporting you. You could beat anybody you want, and then make sure when you beat all of them, get out the game and enjoy your money. So before you get
Yeah.
beat.
Yeah. That's the plan, man. That's the plan. Which I own my
Yeah,
whole all my faculties. Now the question: what type of music do I listen to? I love
yeah,
gospel. I love worship music, man. I get
yeah,
into my worship, but not just regular worship. Like I'll listen to Lecrae, I'll listen to like Andy Mineo, I'll listen to like Borrero. There's another guy named Borrero, but he's a Puerto Rican trap artist in Spanish, you
yeah,
know, because this is what people have in mind. They when they listen to rap and they're talking about God, these people they're trying to be like the world. No, bro. How are you can't reach everybody with just worship, with the same worship. There's people out there that God uses trap music, but it's godly trap music to reach them because music is a tool. The thing is, God made music, but guess what? The devil can't make anything. Everything the devil does, he just corrupts what God made already. So all he does is corrupt music. And instead of listening to, oh, like, I want to mess around with so and so or do this, do that, instead of listening to a negative message, and there's some songs that are in the world, bro, some rap songs that not necessarily they don't cuss, they don't say none of those bad words, and they don't have a subliminal bad message behind them. They actually have an inspiring motivational message,
Mm-hmm.
but again, it comes a lot, you being a musician, it comes a lot from the motive in that person's heart and what they're going through in that situation.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's going to influence the music, and also the voices that are you're letting get into your ear. If you're letting the devil whisper something in your ear
Oh
and
yeah.
you're like, oh, you know what, I'm gonna talk about this in my song, or this is dope, but in all reality you don't realize the people you're affecting. That's why, like, I love music, bro. Music is the only thing that does not have to knock for you to give it permission to enter. Just by listening to it, it's already entering your soul.
Yeah.
So music is powerful, bro. It has a lot of power with its
Oh
frequencies,
yeah.
frequencies,
Oh yeah.
man. You know what I mean? It's
Yo,
it's
Joey.
beautiful. It's music is made for a beautiful thing, but the thing is the devil perverts it for things that are not right. You
Yeah.
know, because
Yo,
even,
Joey.
like I said, there's music out there, bro. Even music that cusses, that talks bad, but not necessarily has a bad message.
Mm-hmm.
There's music that talks
Right.
about some real things that happen in the real world, bro. Like, if you go mess around with these people and you're doing this, well, guess what? You're gonna get killed. And the song just tells you in a different way, but that's what the message behind it is. Or if you're not doing the right things,
Hmm.
not that, like, bad things are gonna happen to you. You know what I mean? So music is a big tool. It's a big influential tool, man. And
Yeah.
like you say, hats off to boxers, bro. Hats off to musicians, to you, bro, because music is a tool that, and it's a talent that God doesn't just give anybody. He gives it
Well,
to people that have one, the ability to carry that, have been through some things, but not just that. God has a big purpose for you. If you're doing music, God has a big purpose for you, bro. So just take that, believe it, and run with it, man.
Hey
well,
Joey, you ever heard the
here,
song? Ever heard the
here,
song "Fish Fry"? Joey, real quick.
well,
Ever heard
well,
Steve's song "Fish Fry"?
here's one thing. I'm not gonna say too much more, Joey. I'm gonna be supporting you because I like your spirit, and I get the impression of this. This is what I get the impression of you. This is my first time talking about you. I try to look on some of your fights on YouTube, and I'm gonna continue to look for them. But in my heart and in my spirit, you have a great spirit, and I really think in my heart, it ain't that I think. It's because I know you are what they call a people's champ, and I know that you're gonna go far. I see it. You just keep focused on what you got to do. My name's Steve Penn. You got my support. I asked KO all weekend, like, who am I gonna? Because he wanted me to help him interview. I'm like, you don't need no help with me interview. I
No,
guess he
I didn't.
just wanted me to be on with him, and I'm glad I did because I met a tremendous boxer, and you
Right.
don't give up, man. Go give up, man. If you know, don't give up. I got a son that's trying to box right now, man. We go to the gym 3 times a week. He's young. He's only 10 years old. And it's people like you that I want him to look up to because you put God first.
Shout
And
out to you.
that's very important. And if you never box again, I will still want to know you. I still, if you never box, if you never box, if you decide to quit boxing tomorrow, I still want to know Joey Borrero because of your faith in God, because you're what we call a people's champ. You're a
Right.
people's
Exactly.
Exactly,
champ.
man. Thank
The
you.
world is so much bigger than music and hip hop and boxing, and you got even in the presidential candidates, you got people trying to pick sides. The world is so much bigger than that, and we need more people like you and the platforms that we perform on. we need people like you, man. So you ain't got nothing but blessings from me. I'm gonna be rooting for you, and I'm
Thank
gonna
you,
be
man.
checking for you. And tell your managers and your promoters to promote more of your fights, even when you training. I want to see them, and people like me want to see them. And I'm gonna tell everybody about you,
Thank you,
even
bro.
Coach Eddie. I'm gonna ask Coach Eddie, you know Joey Borrero, but Joe, get him a fight. I want him to fight Tank because I think he can beat him. I wanted to fight Steven Shakur. I wanted to, he can beat him. I believe in him.
Right.
Thank you, buddy.
He got
Yeah,
more. He got something more powerful than boxing gloves and training. He got God.
that's right.
I love you, brother.
I love you too, bro. Thank you,
Man,
man.
I
It
got
means a
you.
lot.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Look,
sir, Joey. Yes, sir,
shout
man. I
shout
like
out
you, man. You the people champ.
Steve. Boy, give me 1 second. Just a real clip. Just a little clip. This is Steve Penn wrote a song for Terrence Crawford, Fish Fry, last year. He took off. He'll be back. Just to give credit to Steve, he wrote this song. Everybody loves this song. He did a song for Bernie the Boxer, Bernard Davis's podcast as well. But this is from Terrence Crawford's fight last summer. We ain't going to play the whole song, just part of it.
Record of 39 wins, no losses. 30 wins coming by way of knockout. Best fighter
You already
in the
know.
world. He is a 3-division world champion.
Give it up for the top dog. Reppin' on my hard TBC, time to eat. Fresh fish and all. Showing that special shit, blood break 'em off. Sharks get caught by the hook, the southpaw.
Here is Terrence Crawford.
Which is my favorite dish? Which is my favorite dish? It's a fish fry, Team Crawford on his side. Don't switch up now, players. Going down on the 29th of July. Making history is now and never. We putting iron bone collectors on stretchers. Just take a look at the record. 39 and old, bro. The sweet sign's perfected. Now where the fuck is the stepper? Who claiming they better than a switch hitter? Watch Bud beat the bitch out of nigga and send him back to Texas sipping on scissor. Can't bang with the wizard, I'm mastering IQ. Mama plays bets on them, made them whoop on niggas, that's true. Told them to fair no man, them take your food.
That's good. That's
And you
good.
got bars, bro. You got bars, bro. The transitions are clean too.
Yep.
Yeah,
That's
man. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. That's what I do, man. I make music. That's my thing. I love making music. That's just something I love to do. I love to make music for boxers. I love the sport. I used to box myself. I'm 47 years old. I can't box now. People will beat me up. God, for goodness gracious, man, give me a break. I can't box right now. But guess what? I could train. I could spar with you. I could dance with you. But don't hit me for real. But
Yo,
don't hit
my
me.
the last answer to the question you asked me, how many days a week do I train?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, 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 yeah.
you
You
know,
remember them. You got a
yeah,
good memory too.
I'm still, bro. That's why you hit, don't get hit, bro. You still gotta have this, you know. Um, but yeah. So I train when I'm in training camp. I try to train. Well, not try. I train 5 days a week,
Yeah,
Monday through Friday. And then what I do is Saturday and Sundays are my days for running. Some Sundays during my training camp, when I'm getting closer to the fight, like the last 4 Sundays, I completely rest those Sundays. Because
yeah,
you don't want to overtrain your body. There's even
no,
some Saturdays in between the camp that my coach will be
yeah,
like, you know what? You have some tough sparring. You have some great conditioning work. Let's go ahead and give you some rest this Saturday and Sunday. Just lay back, relax, and for those that don't know, I do my training camps over there in Oakland, Lightning's Boxing Club in Oakland, California. Great home of the champions. They have David Dynamite Lopez. They have me. They have a couple of other prospects and good fighters that are up and coming. You know what I mean? So it's a great place to be, man. But he doesn't just manage my boxing, my training. He manages how I eat because a lot of people think this that boxing is just all train hard and you can eat whatever you want. No,
no,
what
no.
you eat is what you are. If I have a BMW or a Ferrari or an expensive car and I'm putting regular gas in it, I'm putting the cheap stuff. The gas is not gonna make my car run as efficient as it should if I'm
Right,
making it run
right,
on premium gas. So the
right.
same way with your body's a temple.
Yeah,
So guess
yeah.
what? If you're treating your body like a temple, you're gonna give it the best food, the best water. You're gonna have it on a great sleeping schedule. You're gonna make sure that
Mhm.
you're on top of everything. Why? Because one, your body helps you provide for your family, and two, your body is what's getting you through to be able to work.
So
Yeah.
Joey, what's your record? What's your record right now?
So
I'm not familiar with your record.
so my record is 12 wins, one loss, and 9 wins coming by way of knockout.
Okay.
Still
And
pretty
just
good.
don't and just because I'm an old school boxing fan, just because of one of my boxers' losses, we in an era now where you can't lose. Everybody's scared to lose. That's the
Yep.
era we in right now. But some of the best fighters lose. They fucking come back stronger. Sugar Ray Leonard lost.
Manny
Muhammad
Pacquiao.
Ali lost. Mike Tyson lost. Hagler lost.
Yep.
So I don't know what the fuck this era going on. But don't you ever think, and I know you don't think that, but don't that loss was a learning experience.
Yes. Yes, and a big one too. If I told you everything I learned from it, man, I was like, God took some people away from my life that I knew because it wasn't like a clear like, oh, this dude like lost. No, it was the people that I had around me at the time weren't the right people, weren't the people that I needed to have. And God tried to tell me various times through messages, to different life experience. And it finally came to the point where it was like, all right, if you're not gonna listen this way, then I'm gonna have to show you what the true colors are. You know, the when I fought that fight, I got dropped. I got dropped like in the second round. I got back up. I was okay. I was able to continue. It wasn't like I was hurt and I couldn't. 2 seconds, be literally 2 seconds before the fight, gets moved on to the second to the third round. Right there and then, my corner throws in the towel. Then come later to find out that, I heard things from different people. I don't know if it's true or not, but I heard that they were working with the other promoter, because they were co-promoters, and the guy that was co-promoting, the guy that was promoting me was also
Mhm.
coaching me. And this is why I tell people, this is why they also have the Muhammad Ali Act. Because this guy wanted to manage me, wanted to promote me, and wanted to coach me. He wanted to have his hand in the whole pie. There's a reason why there's a Muhammad Ali Act, and I learned that through a hard lesson. It was a fight for a title, and I shouldn't have lost that fight because the dude had thrown everything he had in the second round. I knew that the moment I was going to come out in the third round to finish him, that's when I was like, okay, 2 seconds, I'm gonna last it. Corner threw in the towel, fight was stopped. And I,
Well,
I told him, I was like, why did you guys stop the fight? Oh, it's because you were hurt. We gave you a chance to recover. We didn't see you. I was like, dude, 2 seconds before the round was over, you're gonna throw in the towel. And I could have went back, and you guys as a corner done
Right.
your job, got me back up in spirits, told me, I said, get back up. You made this mistake. This is why you got caught. And let me continue to fight. You guys just stopped the fight.
well, guess what? Guess what, Joey and KO? This is what they got the Muhammad Ali Act. I got a new act that I'm going to suggest to the boxing commissioner. Here's a new act that I want all of you to listen to. I think everybody should lose at least one fight. Put everybody back on the same playing ground. It's called a Steve Penn Act. You ain't a true champion until you lose one fight. Fuck being undefeated. How about how you come back off of a fight? This called the Steve Penn Act. Everybody got to lose at least one fight to be considered a champion. What you guys think of that?
I agree with it, bro, because B-Hop, look at Bernard Hopkins, lost his first pro debut, came back and became a Hall of Famer, one of the legends of boxing. You have people like Manny Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao lost fight number 14 as a pro, came back, became one of the greatest 8th division world champions
Exactly.
ever. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
A
Yeah,
loss
you got to
doesn't
lose one
define
fight
you.
to be a champion. How about
Yep,
fuck winning fights? Fuck going undefeated. How about when you lose and come back? That's even say something better.
yep.
What do you think about that, KO?
Steve Pinnock. All right. Yep. Hey, they love you for this one. They love you for this new or what do you call it? Amendment in the boxing organization.
Yeah, that's the new rule. You gotta lose at least one fight. You ain't no champion unless you lose a fight and then come back.
Hey there, matey.
Oh
Ah,
man,
But
it's
yeah.
been great though. It's been a great interview. I think I'm gonna call it quits, guys, because it's getting kind of late. I gotta hit the hay
we
so that I
don't
can
go
go to
past this time.
run in the morning and everything. So
Right. We usually don't go past this time. We're 3 minutes over. But Joey, any last thing? Any shout outs to your friends, family, fans, anybody that's you real quick?
like I said, man, I love everybody. Always salute to my people from Puerto Rico, de Mexico. Sabes que mi gente los quiero. I got a big heart for you guys. And if you guys want to follow me, follow my career at Boxing Joey on TikTok, El Hijo de Dios. You know what I mean? Stay tuned. Big things are coming right now. Just wait. November, end of November or early December, we got big news coming. Once that contract gets signed, you guys will be excited for this one. So that's all I can say until the top contract gets signed. But just stay tuned for the next fight.
Yo, Joey, I got your back. Keep training, keep hard. Remember to keep that jab first. Stay dangerous. Beat everybody ass, bro.
Yes,
Don't be
sir.
scared
Yes,
of
sir.
nobody. Beat their ass, bro.
Yes,
Right.
sir.
Come on, dog. I got you. Come
Got you.
on, dog.
Let's get the good night's sleep, Joey. We'll say good night to you, brother. You're welcome to come back anytime you see us on. You're able to stop by and just talk regular boxing. Don't have to talk about yourself, but just talk about the other fighters whenever you want. And when you have your next fight coming up, we like to get you on at least a couple weeks or 2 weeks before your actual next fight to talk about your fight when it becomes official. We appreciate you, Joey, tonight. We want to say good night to Joey Barrero.
Let's go, Joey.
Thank
Let's
you,
go.
guys.
Good
Ain't
night,
no
Joey.
games, bro. Let's go.
Amen.
Peace, bro.
Yes, sir. Take care, bro.
Yeah.
Take
All
care,
right.
Steve.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Good night, Joey. I'll kick you from the screen. Oh, Joey took off on his own. So, Steve Penn, what'd you think about this interview before we could say goodnight?
I think I think it was a good interview. I think Joey is definitely a future prospect to look for. I love his spirit. I think he's a people champ already. I'm definitely going to be checking for him. I didn't know much about him. I tried to look on some stuff on him in the past few days, but boxing got a whirlwind of new boxers coming up every day. If you look in your local gym, there's a lot of new boxers coming up. And so it's kind of hard, man, to step out of the limelight of who we are used to seeing, like the Javante Take Davis, Shakur Stevensons, the Bud Crawfords, and all these other guys, the Devin Haney's, who have the spotlight right now. But at the same time, I think in a way, maybe that type of spotlight is probably stinking up the game of boxing because they're so picky and finicky on who they fight because it's for money. We want new fighters that's coming in that is ready to fight, that's hungry to fight. Take it back to the old school days. Don't mind fighting for $500,000 because it's more money than they ever had. And I think Joey Barrera is one of those guys that you need to look for. And if he could keep the same faith that he had in his interview about God and being a people's champ and a people's person, I'm definitely supporting him. I'm definitely riding with him 100%. And I think all the young fighters need to follow guys like this. You don't make all these millions of dollars, you probably ain't gonna make it again because boxing kind of going a different route. Hopefully, Turkey Al-Sheikh gonna save it, but maybe he won't. But if you love fighting, then fight. You know what I'm saying? And if you don't want to fight, then don't fight because it's a dangerous sport. But however, overall, the whole interview, I thought it was a great interview. Thank you, KO, for having me on. Anytime, any place, I'm here. Shout out to Joey Borrero. Shout out to all the listeners and the subscribers and the viewers on KO. Keep it locked right here. We're going to keep doing it and giving you more boxing news.
All right. Appreciate it, Steve. I'll let you get some rest tonight. I'll also officially say goodnight too. We'll have you back on. You've been on in the past a lot, Steve. Appreciate you coming on. We'll kick Steve from the screen. Steve, we love you, brother. We'll catch him next time. And I'll maybe talk to him tomorrow anyway on the phone. He's a friend of mine. Steve Penn Music in the house. You guys can find him on Instagram, also on YouTube. Check out some of his music and not just music, but he talks about how he comes up with certain styles of music and songs and things like that. Shout out to Steve Penn Music for joining the interview tonight. I need to get up early myself, go out and drive. What we're going to do, any of you guys out that are up and coming professional boxers that's seen this interview tonight, and even some other ones we talked to in the past that doubting to come on or maybe have your doubts. Hey, these are great interviews. It gives you a chance to get some interview and get people can get to know you better and support you. So everybody go out and check out Joey Borrero. Again, up and coming professional boxer. Young man, still spiritual leader on Insta. He said he was on Instagram, also on TikTok. So he's been a big encouragement to me as well, and a new friend too. Guys, thank you guys so much tonight. We appreciate everybody coming on. Let me go back here real quick. Again, everybody say goodnight to this pretty lady here. Don't forget to share this with everyone. Don't forget to hit the bell.
Ring-a-ding-ding.
To be notified when we do go live with another interview, another news story, or when we go live again. Appreciate everybody stopping by tonight for this interview. It's kind of a long one tonight, but that's okay. Everybody appreciate it. Say goodnight to this pretty lady here, guys, and we'll catch you guys next time.